This is the Ghetto Free Press, and once again, Mayor and Whipple-Lue have just had another round with the legal system here in Wilkerson County. And you will be hearing much about this case. It still is not over yet. You see now Mayor Whipple-Lue's attorney is coming out of the courtroom at this time. We're going to try to get him to answer a few questions for us if we can. Hold on just a minute. How you doing? Good. How you doing, brother?
How's it going, man?
Good. Peace be unto you. What happened in there today, brother?
Well, we had a little hearing. Got the interlocutory injunction hearing out of the way, so we're waiting on the judge to determine what ruling he's going to enter with regards to whether or not the mayor would be continued on this temporary restraining order where she is not allowed to exercise her duties as mayor, or whether or not he's going to modify it or vacate it altogether.
When you call up and start asking questions to that auditor, I think that I watched both sides that was in the courtroom. It seems as if though they just may have he had hit on a subject that maybe some other people wasn't aware of. Did you notice anything like that, or are you just going to leave it like it is?
I had my back to the audience, so I couldn't really determine what kind of reaction the audience was giving with regards to his testimony, but I hope that would be the case, because if you're a taxpaying citizen of the city of Gordon, you should be concerned about money in the sums that he indicated are missing or haven't been accounted for. So I would hope that any rational, prudent taxpayer would be concerned about that testimony.
Okay. Looking at this stage of the case, how do you feel about the case? I mean, a lot of people thought that, well, maybe it's just going to be drawn out a little longer, and everybody got question marks. What's your take on it?
It seems that the parties may be somewhat moving toward a middle ground. I hope that's the case, but I think it's too early to tell. So we'll see. Only time will tell.
Okay, thank you very much. So you feel pretty good about your case, or more or less?
I feel it's going to be okay in the end. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Peace be unto you. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
All right, man.
Peace. Once again, we're going to walk over here. This is Miss Sarah Hunt, and I've noticed that she has been very, very vocal. She has supported the mayor. I think that she's objective, and of course, you know, she's with the National Action Network with Al Sharpton's people out of Macon. We also understand that there will now be a National Action Network set up here in Gordon, Georgia, and that is the attorney. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Mr.
Good. Good. Peace to you. And we're happy to see that everything went well today. We also see the husband of the mayor, as well as the mayor herself, and that we're going to keep you informed. But once again, this is what we do. Madam Mayor, how do you feel? How you doing today?
Oh, well, I'm upper respiratory, but
okay.
Other than that, it's a good day in the city.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Once again, we see the mayor. Okay, we're going to go and see what Miss Sarah Hunt of the National Action Network has to say. And once again, we can see here at the Wilkerson County Courthouse that we have a number of law enforcement officers, the county and the state. I think we got some policemen too. Just keeping the peace, that's what they get paid for. Some people may frown upon it, but they must keep the order, and it works on both sides. They're doing what they were called to do, and after all, they are peace officers.
Georgia chapter, and we have a sub-unit here in Gordon called Gordon Wilkerson County branch of the Middle Georgia chapter of National Action Network.
So what brought you out here today?
Mayor Lue is a member of National Action Network. I came to support her and to see what the outcome of this case is going to be, because I think it's going to end up being a national federal case. because it's a lot of things going on that they're trying to keep hidden. And in the process of my doing some small investigation, I looked at the number of people in the county. I looked at the number of people that's in the city, and the types of funds. Over $3 million has come into the city through the city G.B.R grant, and the funds have not been spent in the manner that they should be, because you have sewage that people should be, all citizens should be hooked up to. I found out that there are citizens that have never been hooked up to the city sewage system. There are drainage backup problems that have not been addressed. There's water situations here that have not been addressed. Well, then what have they been using the funds for?
Describe the courtroom for us today. When you looked around, what did you see?
I saw citizens here that dismayed, don't know what's going on, confused. You can see confused looks on people's faces when Mr. Bassett was talking about the $34,000 plus dollars that is not accountable for in the Georgia power audit that he did. And a lot of them were looking strange at the way that was coming forth, and I saw a need to cover up something.
But what about where people were seated? Can you describe what the actual actually looked like in the courtroom? For people who weren't there, if you noticed, there was black people on one side and white people on another side? Separated. Did you know the separation?
But I saw some black people sitting over where white people were sitting. And I saw a couple of white people sitting over where black people were sitting. Do you realize that we are retrogressing in the United States? We're going back because there is a culture now. Since they came out, the new group, the new Republicans came forth, the Tea Party, they have caused a separation to occur in the United States again. And we can stop saying that there are no racial divides. There are. We can no longer say that there are no racial issues. They are. And 95% of the reason why we're having this problem here is because Mayor Lue asked for an audit. That is something that every city newly elected mayor has done and should do. You don't go into somebody else's business and not get an audit. I worked at DeSoto Hilton in Savannah. When the new management came in, the first thing they did was had an audit of all departments, including the one that I worked in, to make sure where the company stands, the weak parts of the company, the strong parts of the company. There has to be some accountability. One problem I have with what happened in Gordon, they did not have a transition team. They did not do proper transition. And that creates a lot of problems. And you have Mayor Pro Tem who wants to be mayor because he ran and did not win in previous years, and he knows that the people will not elect him. So I feel if the judge does not, he moves for her to be removed, she can't run again, and I believe she will be re-elected because the people want her. She has a heart for the people, and what she wants to do is make such improvements in the city, improvements in the housing, improvements in the road situation, bring some things to Gordon that will make the city become a viable part. They got the new bypass there. That they should have some type of hotel in the Gordon area. Gordon is sitting right there. It's in a prime location that have some serious business development and business flowing in their area.
Now, before the judge let out, he did say that he hopes the city will come together collectively and make a solution before he has to rule that she is
But it's not the city. I would be surprised if it's more than 20 people. Now, I've had white people to call me and say, will you please bring Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton in here to help Mary Ann? So that means that they know that she's being treated unfair. They're asking me to bring Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton in here to help Mary Ann. So what does that say to you? Mary Ann is good. Mary Ann wants to do what's best for us, but they're not giving her a chance.
Why don't you think they're giving her a chance?
Because I think they have something to hide.
So are you saying? So you're saying
I personally think that theft has occurred in this city.
And so are you saying you don't believe it's? I mean, what did you think when Edie said that this caused a racial divide?
No, she didn't cause a racial divide. The racial divide was already here. What she will be able to do if they will allow her to bring the people together. Because she has white people that love her. How do you think she got elected? She didn't get elected by black people. If you researched it and actually researched the vote, she got about as many white votes as she did black, if not more.
Any last comments, concerns?
The only thing I want to say is it's time now for people to look at the real issue. If I lived in Gordon and the kind of money had come into Gordon that has come in there through your community development grant, the SPLOST money that has come here, and we're still looking like we did 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and there are no improvements, that would be speaking volumes to me. And just like I said in the article that I wrote, in Macon we have problems, but one thing we do have is openness, because we know what the finances are. When they got ready to do the budget, what did they do? The people had access to the budget to see what it was, to see where the money was being spent. We know every contract that come into the city. Do you realize that only one person on the city council was receiving the financial package until Mayor Lue got in? Terry Edie was the only person receiving documents, financial documents, contracts and all of this until Mayor Lue came in, and she said she wanted every council person to have privy to that same information. So does that look like somebody that's trying to beat somebody out of something? That sounds like to me that somebody wants everybody to be treated fairly.
I have a question. Why do you think that Attorney Boone?
So what do you say about what happened in court today?
Well, we're pleased with today. We finally had an opportunity to come forward for an interlocutory injunction hearing, and Mr. Kendall was present, the mayor's attorney was present, cross-examined Terry Edie. We were able to put up some other witnesses as well. Mr. Kendall put up Mr. Baskett, which is the first time we've heard anything about his forensic audit, and we're pleased with today, and we look forward to the court's ruling.
Now, you haven't got a chance to cross-examine Whipple-Lue, but is that time coming?
It's coming very quickly.
What are your steps moving forward?
Well, we've now got to go back to what I said in May was coming, which is discovery. So we've got to take the mayor's deposition, several council members' deposition. We're going to have to depose Ms. Brown and Chief Hall. Mr. Kendall's going to have the opportunity to depose our clients and some other people. We'll probably depose Mr. Baskett, and then we'll proceed to trial.
What was his conclusion for today? The judge.
Well, the judge's conclusion today was not shocking. It was that he would take it under advisement. To extend a restraining order into an injunction requires the court to make specific findings of fact and conclusions of law. So taking the matter under advisement so he could prepare a written order is completely consistent with what we expect.
And what do you think about what he said, having the two parties come together and figure out a resolution?
I think this matter is tearing apart the city of Gordon. That's not my intent. That's not my client's intent. I would like to see a resolution short of the court having to remove the mayor from office or impose civil penalties. So I welcome the opportunity to speak with Mr. Kendall about some settlement. We, of course, have made an initial demand in our lawsuit that she step down from office and that she pay over $52,000 in fines. So we believe that the first move to settle needs to come from Mr. Kendall and the mayor, and that is by making a counter offer.
You say $52,000, where is that for?
Yeah, what is that?
$52,000 or more is, I think $52,000 was my first estimate of the civil penalties that could be imposed by the court for the Open Meetings Act violations.
And so just to be clear, so today the judge said he would come back and let you guys know if, the mayor will be out of office until the hearing?
Right, well what the judge said is that he would issue an order by August 2nd, which is when the TRO dissolves. It may be that she remains suspended through the final resolution of the case, or it may be something short of that. Perhaps that she can't vote, perhaps that if she's going to sign any checks, those amounts of money be covered by her personal monies paid into the registry of the court, but something short of complete suspension of office, or it may be a suspension of office. It could be anything.
So we're just waiting until August 2nd?
Well, August 2nd or until whenever we get a ruling from the court. But I don't think we're waiting, though. I mean, I sincerely have taken the court's thoughts to heart, and I hope that we can reach a resolution without Judge Reeves having to do anything else.
When do you plan to speak to Kendall to talk about the resolution?
I would think within the next 24 hours.
And September, October, if it comes to that, that's when you guys would have a hearing?
Right. If it comes to a final trial of the case, it'll be a full trial. It'll last a whole lot more than half a day. It'll probably involve anywhere from 10 to 20 witnesses, and it'll take a couple days, the better part of a week.
Anything else you'd like to say that we didn't ask?
No, we're pleased with the opportunity to have had our case heard. For an interlocutory injunction, we look forward to the court's ruling, and we sincerely hope that we can work this out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Once again, what's your name?
Sarah Mincy Hunt.
And who are you involved with? What organization?
I'm the president of the Mid-Georgia chapter of National Action Network.
Why are you here today?
I'm here to support Mayor Lewin to see which way this case is going. I really feel like the points that they're bringing up are not necessarily what this is all about. I see this as a cover-up, a method to try to cover up the thefts that's going on in the government.
I noticed in your news release you ask about, I guess that's HUD funding?
No, it was community development fund,
CDBG,
and the SPLOST.
And the SPLOST. Okay, what's your concern about that?
I don't think those funds have been spent properly because some citizens who should be hooked to the city sewage, the line has run by there, but they haven't hooked them in. So why haven't you? Why aren't they hooked in? They've got enough funds that every citizen in Gordon city limits should be on the city sewage system.
Well, during the case there, did you notice or did you look at the other people in the courtroom once they started talking about that money, once Mr. Bassett began to talk about the money? Did you notice the people in the audience, even on both sides, did you notice the expressions on their face?
There was shock, disbelief, could not believe that they didn't know this. I think when they talk about open records, all records need to be open to the public, including the financial records. Now, like for instance, in Macon-Bibb County, when we go to the meeting, they have all those things already laid out. We know every contract that's coming before the city. We know when the budget was done, the budget was brought to the citizens so we could see and get a chance to see what line items were in the budget. I don't think that's ever been done here. And when I heard that the only person who was receiving a packet of city information was Tawana Brown, until the mayor said she wanted every council person to be privy to that information. That was a problem.
Why do you think that throughout the case, at the beginning, it was amazing to me the stumbling blocks that would seem like were put in front of the auditor by Attorney Boone? Why do you think he would do that? I thought he should have had the best interest of the city.
Well, he has all these companies that he that's registered with the Secretary of State office, and I know one company that he has a contract with the city that's his, and I think that's Pet and Paul, something of that nature. I can't remember the exact name, but it's a company that he is president of, and they have contracts with the city. That's in direct violation of the city charter.
Well, how do you think about, what do you think about, we get ready to close, how do you think about, what do you think about the participation today, the crowd? What do you think about, is the people really concerned about it?
I think the people are concerned, but a lot of people are working and were not able to be here because of their jobs. And I can understand that. Some people have medical issues and they had doctor's appointments and everything. They didn't know when the trial date was. And it was after they had already made their doctor's appointments and different things of that nature. So therefore they couldn't be here because of those appointments.
Okay. Lastly, how do you feel the judge did? You think the judge was open, or do you think he was kind of biased?
I think the judge really wants them to come together and resolve this without him having to make a decision, because ultimately what he decides is going to affect him. It's going to affect his position on the judicial circuit. So therefore he's trying to get them to come to some type of point where they can have some mediation going on.
Okay, in closing, the National Action Network, in terms of Al Sharpton and or maybe some of the other civil rights organizations, do you see?
We have already, I've talked with the president of the Bibb County NAACP, and they're going to be on board with working with this case also. And I've already sent everything to the national office, and each time new documents come out, I send it in. And the attorney for Ms. Lue has been in direct contact with our national field director.
Okay, thank you very much. What's your name once again?
Sarah Mintz.
And your position is what?
President of National Action Network.
Out of where?
Middle Georgia.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
This is the Ghetto Free Press, doing what we do because it must be done. This is in the state of Georgia. This is in the state of Georgia. I have said it over and over again. There's a great disconnect in the state of Georgia in dealing with meetings. I have said it once and I will say it again, and I will continue to say it. I will continue to say it.
I would like to tell America to take off the blinders. I would like to tell Governor Deal and any of the people up there that we elected, they need to take the blinders off and come and see what's going on in their communities. Enough is enough, and that's it. We're not taking it anymore. We're not going to take it sitting down.